Hey everybody, I'm Lee. You may notice that I'm not a black woman, which means that I'm not Kita. It is Friday, but unfortunately Kita is no longer with us. But the good news is you get me, so hopefully that's something. I told you pretty much everything you need to know in my audition video, which is on my page, which is Unbound Love. And, so I'm not gonna, like, recover all of that. I mean, it's not everything you needed to know, but it's a good chunk. I work for the Gay Lesbian Straight Education Network and the Trevor Project, which GLSEN, the former, is an organization devoted to the safety of LGBT teens in schools, and the Trevor Project is a suicide hotline for LGBT teens. So, I've got a little bit of that perspective going, that I work for queer rights nonprofits. Other than that, I'm a raging queer myself. Imagine that. I mean, that's sort of why I'm here. So jumping right into this week's topic, which is gender and sexuality. As I mean, you know that. You've been watching all week. It's Friday. You should know by now that gender and sexuality is this week's topic. Which is usually something that I'm really excited to talk about, because it's a huge part of my work is talking about gender and sex. It's all my work. That's what I do. I just don't know what I can tell you about specifically how do you know, because it's so completely different for everybody, and that's because it's so completely fluid for everybody. I mean, both gender and sexuality, you have no idea what's going to happen to you later today. You have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. Could be completely different, all of that, from what happened yesterday. So, I mean, for me, I identify as a trans-masculine, transgressive, genderqueer. So I really embrace my masculine traits, and I use my sort of trans identification, well, under the transgender umbrella anyway, to do great work in trans rights activism, but really, more than anything, I'm just sort of, you know, in between what would be male and female. I'm very much just, when I talk about myself or think about myself, I don't think about gender. That's not to say that gender shouldn't be thought of when you're talking to somebody, because gender and a gender orientation and a gender identity and all of that is a really beautiful thing that we need to look at when we are looking at people, because it shows individual experiences and it shows struggle and all of those things that we need to think about when we want to know a person. That's why I don't believe in being gender blind, just as I don't believe in being colorblind. I believe that our colors are part of our histories and part of what makes us up. They don't define us, for sure. They do not create who we are, but in a sense they do. I mean, our ancestors and all of that, the struggle that we've all been through as individuals has brought us to where we are today. We would be different people without that struggle. So I feel that also applies to gender. And I have this conversation with people all of the time in my work and also in school. I'm studying gender studies, and I'm also studying philosophy. So these two really combine really well. As far as sexual orientation, again, I myself am obviously much more attracted to women, but when I find myself attracted to men, I find myself as a man attracted to a man, and I don't generally pursue that. But, like, I also find myself very attracted to trans women sometimes, or trans men. Like, it has absolutely nothing to do with anatomy. It's all completely about the spirit and about who you are as a person, not what your body is. Of course, that's not the same. That's not the same for everybody. I mean, some people are genuinely only attracted to the same sex, or genuinely only attracted to the opposite sex. Some people are only attracted to men and women, and some people are just attracted to everybody. Like, it's not an issue. As for me, when did I know that I was attracted to girls? Because, I mean, when I am talking about myself, generally I'm going to identify as a lesbian, because that's what's easiest for everybody to understand. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna agree with Lorena that it was when I kissed a girl I really realized, wow, this is it. This is totally where I'm supposed to be. But I have many friends who came out before they had any kind of experience, before they had a first kiss or anything like that. Because it's about who you see and who you know and what you realize you're attracted to, not what you want to mount, but what you're spiritually attracted to. That's really all that matters. And honestly, going back to gender, I could talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours about gender, because it's one of the things that I struggle most with myself, because I really struggle with it with my feminist identity, because I feel like the idea of being between male and female, that means that we are then advocating gender roles. Like, if we are saying that we're not for if we do not apply to gender roles, then that means that I believe that there are gender roles that we are supposed to fulfill that I'm rebelling against. You know what I mean? So, like, when I say that I don't identify as much as a woman or as much as a man, that would be because I don't feel that I fit a female role. And what is a female role? When there are different kinds of women who are fitting female roles all the time, and different kinds of men that are whatever. Like, there are different kinds of women that are women. There are bajillions, there's an infinite amount of types of women. I mean, there's no female role. So am I saying that because I don't fit a female role that I believe that there is one? So that's definitely something that I struggle with. So definitely, if you have any input on that, let me know your thoughts. Alright, homies, I'm over time, but that's what happens when you start me on a topic like gender and sexuality. Come on, Matt. What the hell? I will see you all next Friday. Peace. Bye.